probably in that third quarter when the game's up for grabs, we'll find out who's the survivor of the fittest.
Thanks to Alice Molberg down there with that information. Thanks to Akira Urgent Care. We're just about set to start this second term. Fantastic atmosphere. It's a sun-drenched Moreton Park. Get down here if you're in the area. Absolutely. You'll be able to find the space though, but you'll struggle because the crowd is 4 or 5 deep as we get underway in this second term. It's South Croydon narrowly leading Blackburn by 2 points. Back in the centre, it's the Bulldogs with the clearance through King, who hacks it inside 50. Looking there in the Hughes direction. Manages to rove his own footy. Gets the hand pass back. Breaking the tackle there in the end was Mallinson, was paid the free kick for a high. And you can go back, resettle, and find the target inside 50.
Very stiff there, Blackburn.
So Mallinson, yeah, you did get the sense he did duck through the tackle, but the umpire was probably within his rights. The kick inside 50, looking there for Eagle. Couldn't quite take it on the stretch. There's still a chance here, the Dogs. Hand pass intercepted there for Blackburn by Tui. Tui looks towards the outer wing. The kick, I suppose, well, missed a number of players there, and South Croydon can go back inside the 50. Good smother applied there by Brooker for the Panthers. The ball's still at ground level. Brooker still desperately trying to pick it up. It falls out the back. Pouncing on it there is Fagan for the Panthers. Looks to go backwards, to go forwards, and eventually through Hammond they can move it towards centre wing and find a target. And leading out there is Banfield. He looks towards the half-forward flank for Otten. Will it bounce too kindly for him? No, it was quite fickle in the end, and it falls out of play 45 metres around from the Panthers' goal.
Look, I reckon here, I think that at the moment, whoever can get a quick 2 or 3 goal break might hold the key to this game.
Peter Banfield said they like it fast out there, so obviously the game's suiting them at the moment.
Ball back into play. Contesting there is Stevens with Ralph. The former won the tap. And as a result, the Dogs had a chance to break clear, but holding the ball.
Stevens caught there.
Absolutely. That was a brilliant tackle there, Brash.
Yeah, it was. You know, always really good. It's good for a good sign when you can put pressure on in the opposition's in the opposition's back line to win a free kick.
Epitomises their game so far, South Croydon.
Absolutely. As a scoring opportunity comes up for Blackburn in the form of O'Farrell. His kick is on the way and it's on target. A brilliant goal scored there by Heath O'Farrell to put Blackburn back in front. They move on to 4-3-27, leading South Croydon 3-5-23 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. And boys, that's just the start the Panthers would have wanted.
Exactly. Well, this is I've always said that this is the scoring in the southern end. If you play straight down the middle at this ground and hit up forwards, you're going to score heavily.
Looks like early in this second term, Blackburn are getting the game more on their terms. We heard from Soupy at quarter time that they're dominating the clearances in the midfield too.
Well, Ralph got the knockdown. It came out towards the Tui direction. Little quick kick up towards the half-forward line of the fall. The ball, Cox was going to be able to pick it up. Got the handball over the top, still inside the centre square here. Forward there by Matthews. That was a good handball. They'll have a shot on goal here through Simpson on the right boot. It was a wafting kick through. In fact, I think that was O'Farrell having his second shot on goal in only a matter of moments, Damien Watson. But through it goes for a 1 behind. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, as we cross the 3-minute mark of this second term, it is Blackburn, the home side, leading this one. They are 4-4, South Croydon 3-5.
The Bulldogs moving it forward with purpose. King eventually got the take, but he couldn't quite find the target. The Panthers have a chance now as they move it forward on centre wing. The hand pass comes from Clay. Goes backwards to go forwards once again, and Gearlings looks towards the boundary line on centre wing, and he finds his target in Matthews. So Kyle Matthews, former captain of the KC Scorpions, now donning the Blackburn colours, looks towards half forward, couldn't find his target there in Brooker. Eventually the Dogs have the numbers to hand pass around and construct a way forward. Cuthbert ran forward, he was decked after he was kicking the ball, and there's a bit of a how do you do behind the play. The umpire needs to call play on, he does just that. The fight breaking out behind the play, but we'll continue on with the footy. The kick inside the 50, a chance for the Dogs, and a brilliant mark
push there
in the back.
It was there.
Yeah, good call by the umpire, and the Blackburn faithful were happy with that decision. So the free kick to be taken there by Macaulay is starting to settle down and dissipate there behind the play, but Blackburn will move it forward.
Macaulay kicks it up towards the Otten direction. He got one arm up at the fall. The ball running through his fingers out there. South Croydon through Molnar. Handball over the top. Went towards the Geelings direction. He couldn't quite trap the football. Dropping what he and claiming a free kick was Tui, held without the football, and we'll have a bounce. We'll have a free kick, to Tui as we cross down boundary side. Thanks to Akira Urgent Care to Georgina.
Yeah, thanks, boys. The umpire's given Carl Matthews a yellow card, so he'll spend 15 minutes on the boundary line.
So Ralph, short passes on. They'll do it in bits and pieces here. The ball's in the arms there of McFarlane.
And a 25
metre
metre
penalty as well. So I think that was David King going over the man on the mark there. So
Look at them mouthing off at each other as he goes forward.
You want to be careful.
certainly would after giving away one, but then he kicked it straight into the man of the mark, did it, McFarlane into King, and going after the football there was Clay, and we'll have a bounce just outside the centre square out here at Moreton Park members side.
Brash, Kyle Matthews off for 15 minutes. It's 15 minutes, but that's a huge loss for the Blackburn side at the moment.
Oh, it is. I thought he was a bit unlucky myself.
Molnar trapped the football. He got a little handball out wide. It couldn't win only as far as Banfield. He was trapped in the contest, and we'll have another bounce.
Where's this feeling between the two sides coming from, Brash? Do these sides have a history? They just seem to be very angry at each other.
Oh, no, I think it's just a bit of Anzac spirit starting to come through, I reckon.
Certainly is the occasion. Stevens worked his way to the front. We'll give that one to him, Grant Campbell, and we'll also have another stoppage, perhaps, or holding the football. So it'll be a free kick going to South Croydon across the half-back line now. King screaming for it across the half-forward line. It goes into the direction of Hughes. He'd be able to trap it now. The big man did on the first bounce. Swings around on the right boot. It was a good-looking kick, and it had to be good too, and the mark was taken there by Glenn Strawn. The ball just held up in his favour, and he'll go back there and have a shot on goal. Glenn Strawn from about 55 metres out from goal.
Is a good kick, Glenn Strawn.
It's a generous 50 here at Moreton Park too.
It is generous, but this guy is renowned for his footwork and hand-to-eye coordination.
Currently trailing by 5 points is the South Croydon Football Club. 4 goals, plays 3. Glenn Strawn to put the doggies back in front. He hits the 50, kicks it to the top of the goal square. It's going to hold up short. The big man Ralph got himself into a good position. Got the handball away to Macaulay, and they working numbers. Otten gets a handball away now to Galings, and now Blackburn are away.
Blackburn moving forward along the boundary line. Diving in front of it there was Clay to try and claim it. In fact, it was Hudson, and he forces it over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in 70 metres around from the South Croydon goal.
Once again, some poor foot skills there. Undone some really good work there from the Blackburn club.
Ball back into play. Stevens was favoured in the ruck contest, forced it to ground level, then tried to tackle his opponent there in O'Farrell. Eventually the hand pass comes out. Number of players overlap the footy. Taken out there by Fagan for the Panthers. Looks towards the half-forward flank. Taking it on the bounce there was Hammond. Twisting, turning, got it back, but South Croydon have too many numbers. They're certainly placing pressure on the Panthers defenders there as the throw-in will take place. About 50 metres around from the Blackburn goal. The Panthers attacking with purpose.
I think they look under siege a bit in this second quarter, South Croydon. Blackburn have come out a different side.
Absolutely. The ruck contest won there by Curtis for the Panthers. Forces it to ground level. The Bulldogs have the numbers. The hand pass intended there for Strawn. Eventually it's very scrappy as a plethora of players try to extricate it out. The kick from Fagan was smothered. It's forced out for South Croydon. Still players try to get an effective disposal away, and eventually the Dogs will run it forward. The kick eventually was miscued, but it found the target in the end accidentally in Boulder, and the Bulldogs move it inside 50. Kick in the direction there, and finding Hughes on the lead. He can go back and have a shot, but the angle is very, very acute.
Good ball movement there by South Croydon as they move the ball through the middle into the forward line. Hughes a chance to kick the goal. He's going to have to thread the eye through the needle here.
Yet to kick a goal, the big full forward, but certainly been presenting throughout the match so far. He's tugged up against the boundary, copping a lot of flack from the Blackburn faithful, but the concentration looks good. The kick goes across the face of goal. There isn't going to be a score, but there's going to be a mark though. Standing strong, Jason Eagle, and he pulled up the big jukes, and he'll have run around now. Well, the umpire said no, go back and have a shot over the man on the mark. He might still be able to duck around for a bit of a snapshot here, but they'll get a little bit of a let off here, South Croydon. Still 5 points they're trailing by. It was a lazy looking kick off the boot, but it's gone straight over the goal umpire's head. That is a goal. Fantastic play there by the big man in Jason Eagle. He kicks his first of the afternoon, and South Croydon get back in front on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard as we cross the 8.5 minute mark. It's now back to a 1 point ball game.
And neither side can gain any sort of advantage whatsoever. They can't control the centre. They're relying on a kick and mark game at the moment just to make do, Dan.
You mentioned the centre. How many times in this game have we seen Blackburn get a quick clearance and go forward, and they haven't capitalised as much on their goal opportunities, but that will certainly hurt South Croydon if Blackburn can do that a few times this afternoon.
Eagles' first major, putting South Croydon back in front as they regain the lead. It's been a very seesawing battle. Let's head to Grant Campbell with some Choose Tap match stats.
South Croydon leading the clearances this quarter 5-3 after that one.
And they do win it again, and the hacking kick out of the congestion there from Stevens was marked by Hughes on the dive. He's hurt, but he'll get up and take his kick from about 40 metres out directly in front.
The advantages of playing in front.
Yeah, exactly.
Hit his head pretty hard there on that occasion too, but he's up and he's all right, which is good.
All of a sudden, South Croydon, once again, just when you think Blackburn are threatening to take the game away from them, they just hit back there.
Oh, certainly, and this is a hugely important kick. We're probably midway through this second quarter, and if you can go into half time on a big occasion like this in front, it's a huge plus.
So Daniel Hughes, he and Jason Eagle have been very intimidating and imposing focal points up for the Dogs this afternoon. Hughes leads back on it and from 45 metres has put it through. I think he stuck it in. So the Bulldogs get yet another on the board, another major. They move on to 5-5-35, leading Blackburn 4-4-28 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. The Dogs just starting to gain the ascendancy here, boys.
The two forwards, Eagles and Hughes, are starting to have an impact on the game. Then Blackburn are going to have to start tightening up on them.
I know Eagles one to watch, as Dyson mentioned in the pre-game. He's been imposing with his early season form up forward. And Hughes on that occasion, I think he really owed the Dogs one after he sprayed that last kick across the face just a few moments ago. So that's paying the Bulldogs back there.
So the ball's back in the middle. Curtis moves into the ruck for the Burners. Got the knockdown, and they might be able to win the clearance here. And Simpson couldn't quite get boot to ball, but screaming through and getting boot to ball there was Tui on the left boot. Kicks it to the top of the goal square. It's a 2-on-2 situation. Ball knocked away, hits the deck and over the boundary line. It goes seen over by Sam Hudson, and we'll have a boundary throw in. Left forward pocket, Blackburn end.
James Crowell's doing a magnificent job on Ben Fraser here.
Yeah,
Fraser's had no influence on the game whatsoever.
Yeah, I was going to say, Brush, Fraser, you get the sense has been quelled quite effectively in the forward line, so he'll have to lift here for the Panthers. From the throw-in, Stevens got the knockdown from behind. Blackburn trying to keep it in play. A snap-on goal has gone across the face and through for a minor score. So the Burners move on to 4-5-29. They're trailing South Croydon 5-5-35 by one straight kick on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Just on Ben Fraser there, Brush, it's interesting. He hasn't had too much of the footy. He can come into the game in the second half and really have an impact as that sort of player.
So Osborne might play it to himself and go towards the Debney direction here. He played for that way, but then got it into towards the middle of the ground. That was good. Myers now got the kick away up towards the half-forward line. Playing in front there is Eagle. Will it bounce favourably for him? Gave a nice little tap onto towards the position there of Daniel Hughes, who's been in the thick of it in this second term. Handball backwards, that was okay. They've got the numbers now. The Dog squeeze a kick up towards the Daniel King direction. He takes off the skipper, plays off one step, shoots on to goal and pushes it to the right-hand side. So that was a bit of fast movement there by the Doggy Football Club, and the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, they just edge a little bit closer. 4-5-29, plays 5-6-36. Oh no, as the ball comes straight back in, Tyler Curtis was the man going up for it, couldn't quite rip it down, and will have a boundary throw in, 50-metre arc for South Croydon. Currently lead it by 7 points. We have gone 17 minutes here in this second term. Playing in front there, the handball from Molnar went over the top there, picked up by Banfield, tried to get the handball out wide, and now the looping handball goes towards the Curtis direction, and then once again he's got the fumbles. Tyler Curtis spills it over the boundary line for a boundary throw in.
That was smart play by South Croydon. They took Curtis's mind off the job there. He should have gone up for the ruck, and he missed out, and they were allowed to gain possession of the ball. It didn't hurt them, but it could.
Umpire brings the ball back into play. Stevens got the knockdown. Crowd asking for a bit of a high tackle there, but not to be, as we cross to Will Taylor for some important around the ground scores.
Yeah, Wanchurna South leading up Infantry Gully, 4-2, 26-1 behind, so 25-point leads to the Devils, and Mitchell and Moline Glen Waverley by 11 points, 3-6, 24 to 2-1, 13.
On the move is Hatton, a driving kick towards the half-forward flank, looking for his intended target there in Hammonds, but he couldn't quite find him as it rolls out of play. It'll be a throw-in right on the half-forward flank here for the Blackburn Footy Club in that shady little spot there at Morton Park.
Just going back to that last kick for goal there, Dan King probably should have taken the set shot there, Dan.
Yeah, well, Eagles have been very smart with the way he's been setting up. He's been getting goal side of his man, so it was always going to perhaps end in disaster for Blackburn.
A bit of a scrap and yet another stoppage as neither player from neither side could extract the footy from the pack. It's been that way all afternoon, you get the sense. So the ball back in motion. King The ball eluded him. Eventually the kick is scrapped out by Ferraccio for South Croydon. Wasn't any intended target, so Blackburn through Watton can kick it inside 50 at the mark. Has it been paid? It has.
Gotta be.
Oh, that was a 4 grabber at ground level, and it was brilliantly held onto there by Jake Hammond. Oh, he was sitting down and on the ground as if he was in a sofa in Bali there, Dan Campbell. He held onto it.
Well, he's got to take this opportunity because Blackburn have really slipped behind the South Croydon pace so far in this second quarter.
So Jake Hammond, a deliberate approach. A mark like that probably does deserve a goal. From 45 metres out, kick on the way, straight through the middle. And he's given his opponent a bit of lip service. That's his second goal for the afternoon. And Blackburn within 1 point of South Croydon on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard there. 5-5-35, trailing the Dogs 5-6-36. It's a ripping seesawing contest.
Both sides, when they get clear air and clear ball, Dan, they're starting to show their skills. But neither side, once again, cannot take any advantage whatsoever.
Yeah, I was about to mention that both sides are having their bursts of momentum. At one point in the game, say South Croydon might be controlling, then it'd be Blackburn, then it'd be South Croydon.
Well, the ball's back in the middle. Stevens got the knockdown straight into the arms of Dinello. Got it back to Stevens. Bouncing football. It might bounce favourably here for Hughes. We're running at the back and holding up for his side is Faulkner. He'll swing around on the right boot. That was a neat looking pass. It was intended for his teammate there in McCauley. Had to bounce it to his own advantage there, but the ball just didn't sit up. Kick goes inside forward 50. Cox is in position A. Dropped probably what he should have taken. Blackburn now might have the numbers once again at the back as a big tackle comes in from Eddie. The umpire said it was fair and we'll have a bounce only 20 metres out from goal.
It's ferocious tackling there from Eagle. He's probably one of his strengths as a forward, being able to tackle and defend as well as attack.
Certainly an imposing figure as he goes up, wins the knockout that time against Curtis. Going in there was King of the David variety. He was trapped nicely in a tackle there by Anthony Simpson.
Holding the ball.
And will have a free kick as it was a good tackle there by Simpson. So King just probably trying to lay an egg there, hold the ball up to create the stoppage. So Simpson now on the right boot, had to be spot on in his pass, and the ball bounced favourably there for Hammond. Swings around on the left boot. It was a high up and under kick going towards the crowd direction. He couldn't quite bring it in with one hand, but he might receive a free kick for copying one a little bit late, James Crowell, and he'll take it far side of the ground.
So what, he hasn't done too much wrong, James Crowell. He's well on top of the big clash between him and Fraser.
So Crow now on the right boot will kick it up towards the Hughes direction. A target that's been right on so far this afternoon as the ball at the fall goes out towards the Clay direction. Got a little handball, comes into the arms of Curtis now. He'll swing around on the left boot, and they'll might have done it a little bit slowly, but they're away, Damien Watson.
They are indeed. Hammond's chip pass, well, it looked to be ill-directed to the naked eye, but eventually they get out of it here, Blackburn. Fagan along the boundary line. It was a directed kick there for Fraser. He couldn't quite take it. Again, South Croydon double teaming. It'll be a ball in right on centre wing at Morton Park. Hope you're enjoying the coverage right here on Radio Eastern 98.1 FM. So the throw in. Ralph got the front spot, but Stevens judged it the better and won the tap. The Dogs can move it through the corridor, and Strawn with pace to Burn. Kicks it towards centre half forward, looking for Hughes. He flew high, misjudged the ball, couldn't quite keep his feet. Blackburn have the numbers again. They're composed, and through McCauley they settle it down and chip the pass towards Chris Clay.
Gee, he's got a serious sleeve, the Eagles.
You love those, don't you, Brash?
Oh, yeah.
Chris Clay. Between half-back and centre wing, looks towards half-forward. The kick floated up in the air. South Croydon had the tall timber there to pick it up. The hand pass again floated. And going after the footy there.
Smart play.
Yes, it'll be a free kick going the way of Blackburn, and to be taken by Ward towards the forward pocket, and a well-directed ball, well judged in the end also, and the mark taken in the end by Ben Fraser, who's been quiet, Brash. He needs to get on the board.
He certainly does. This will be a big team lift here for Blackburn. If he can kick a goal, especially from this angle, really hard angle to score from this ground, but Ben Fraser's more than willing and capable of doing it.
It will certainly be a team lifter if he can nail it from an acute angle, but it fades off to the right at only a minor score. So the Panthers move on to 5-6-36, drawing level with South Croydon on the same scoreline here on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Brash, we spoke about tagging jobs and defensive jobs in pre-game. That's what Crowell, I think, is doing on Fraser at the moment. He's attacking and defending really well, all while giving Fraser nothing.
That's exactly right. He's right. He's just not giving him anything.
So Strawn goes straight up the middle Finds his skipper in King. The umpire called play on. He goes after it again. King, he might get pinged for holding the ball here. He might get pinged. The umpire said play on. It's about 45 metres out from the Blackburn goal line. We've got about 10 players around it. Eventually the umpire will come in and we'll have a bounce.
Very lucky there, I thought, South Croydon, not to get penalised there. He was hatching the ball too.
So umpire throws it up. Big knockdown there by Otten. Straight into the path there is Simpson, who banks it on his boot. Bouncing football to the top of the goal square. They've still got the numbers 25 metres out from goal, Blackburn. But South Croydon, they have the poise, they have the support, and they get the clearing kick out, but it'll only go as far as Alex Galings.
So Galings,
go for a demo.
just waltzing through with a bounce. He was taken down there by a Bulldog. It was almost a turnover. In fact, it has been effective through King. It's an open forward line for the Bulldogs. Looking there for Hughes, but he was well out positioned there by Macaulay. Macaulay moving it forward through Matthews. The hand pass eventually comes to Clay. Chips the pass. They're composed here, the Panthers. Eventually it comes through Gearlings. Looks out wide and finds his intended target there in Otten. Sends a long ball to the opposite pocket. What a kick. 50 metres plus, and it hit the target flush on the chest, and it'll be another Blackburn scoring opportunity to put them once again in front through Heath O'Farrell.
I'm really interested in this duel between Sam Macaulay and Hughes. Of course, it all started there with Macaulay doing the spoil and Blackburn were away, but I think they're breaking even at the moment.
Heath O'Farrell from 40 metres. The shot on goal looks pretty good. And Blackburn once again regain the lead. They move on to 6-6-42, leading South Croydon 5-6-36 on the Bendigo back scoreboard. That was his second, O'Farrell. Let's cross boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Instead, let's go to the Choose Tap a Stats man, Grant Campbell.
Very even stat sheet this quarter. Inside 50s, 9-8 in favour of South Croydon. And they've turned around the clearances. They lead that 9-7.
Great game we are seeing out here at Moreton Park. The home side just back in front. We've crossed time on. 21 minutes gone here in the second quarter. 6-6-42 plays 5-6-36. So both sides getting a lot of scoring shots on the board, Wayne Brasher.
Yeah, they are, and once again, we're just waiting for something to happen. Both sides look like threatening to blow the game open, but neither can.
Well, the umpire threw the ball up. No clear knockout there. Curtis was in there. Charging through there was Matthews. Couldn't quite get it. Grattan Stevens, little short pass, finds Donnell across centre half forward. He's about 55 metres out from goal. The kick goes towards the Hughes direction and he comes out and takes a good mark. 40 metres out, 45-degree angle, and it will certainly be the answer that the doggies are looking for.
I touched on this matchup before, and I think whenever Hughes is on the lead, he's always got the advantage against Sam Macaulay, but whenever it's an aerial contest, Macaulay will always affect that spoil and win one out.
Having a terrific second term is Daniel Hughes. He's already kicked one. Getting the Bronx cheers from Macaulay on the mark. He leans over the ball. That is a beautiful kick. The goal umpire does not move. Second goal to Hughes, and the South Croydon Football Club square the ledger once again out here at Moreton Park as we cross the 22-minute mark of the second term. It is 6-6 apiece, 42.
Both sides, when they show composure and are able to deliver a ball and kick the ball to position, look fantastic. It's just a matter of who's going to take control, who's going to get that 5-minute burst.
I agree, Brash, and I think the biggest margin of this game so far has been when South Croydon nailed the first 2 goals of the match, and that was in the first couple of minutes of the first quarter.
Back at the centre, scores tied once again in this fluctuating contest as Otten gains the clearance for Blackburn. This could almost roll through. It does, but only for a minor score. That was from the centre of the ground. He gave that plenty of heave-ho, but he's put Blackburn in front by that margin. There's 6-7-43, leading the Bulldogs 6-6-42 on the Bendigo back scoreboard.
Osborne, short passes on, that's okay. Cuthbert takes it. Almost at centre half back now, South Croydon. Goes out wide there to Anthony Descent. He'll switch it back in towards the middle of the goal square again. So doing it the long way here now, the doggies, as they might now stretch to go down the middle of the ground. David King's on the receive of a handball. Turns himself into a lot of traffic here, but turned himself out of it. Stopped, propped, and kicked it across the face of goal. That was okay. Debney takes the mark.
I reckon they've gained all of about 2.5 metres in that exchange of 4.
Myers is screaming for it short across centre half back. Strawn creates a lead as well, where the kick goes up towards the wing position. That was a silly kick too, because right on the end of that was Fraser. Short pass inside forward, 50 or thereabouts. Going after it there was Ward. Snap on goal. This has gone through for one behind. The crowd behind got excited. So did a few here in the club rooms, but minor score is the result. And they have the lead, the Blackburn Football Club, by 2 points. They are 6-8-44, playing 6-6-42.
It's just been one of the flaws in Blackburn's game this afternoon, getting plenty of the ball but not being able to capitalise on opportunities, and that's all important in these late stages of the second quarter.
So Ben Osborne, the designated kicker for South Croydon, to bring it back into play. Chips the pass towards the outer side and finds a target on the half-back flank. They've been very effective in moving it forward on the outer side of the ground here, South Croydon. The kick looking for Stevens. He was caught behind. Blackburn have the numbers at the back. In the arms now of Bunn. Eventually gets the hand pass across the ground towards the boundary line. They eventually move it forward here for a great linkage and handball to Tui. Tui towards half forward. The kick looking there for Fraser. He couldn't quite take it on the slide, and eventually it's taken over the boundary line in the hands of Osborne, and will have a throw in 60 metres around from the Blackburn goal.
Brash, I think this afternoon we're seeing a lot of that class from Paul Bunn across the half back line. Of course, I think in 2011 he made one of the teams of the year.
Free kick's been paid. It's going South Croydon's way. They kick it across their defensive goal, and the mark has been taken by Debney, who certainly imposed himself in this second term in the action in terms of accumulating disposal. He chips the pass to King. The Bulldogs move it forward on the opposite wing now towards Eagle. The kick was well spoiled in the end by Lockor at the back for Blackburn. They had the numbers. Lockor is an option, but they wouldn't take him. Eventually it comes forward to Bunn. Bunn goes backwards to centre half back, and he finds a target to compose the play down, and it's Chris Clay. So Clay being opposed to by Eagle at the moment. Chips it short to Ralph, who's been a very damaging key player for Blackburn this year thus far. Looks for Otten. He dropped what he should have taken, but he had time to recover. Got the hand pass back to McCauley, and a brilliant pass, and outstretched on the lead. Another mark taken by Hammond, and he can go back and have a shot from just beyond the arc.
Once again, when you see clean disposal like Blackburn did, they moved across the ground in waves. All of a sudden, Otten gets onto the ball, pinpoints a pass, now another shot on goal.
So Jake Hammond has been a very damaging focal point in terms of creating opportunities for the Blackburn forwards. He fires from just outside the 50. The kick drifts off to the left, however, and it's only a minor score. So Blackburn increasingly increase their lead to 3 points. They're 6-9-45. South Croydon are 6-6-42 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
I hate to use a term like this, but both sides are playing very careful football, I think. They're just not prepared to throw it around a bit.
Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern is streaming live on EFL.org.au as Ben Osborne kicks in. His intended target out there was Will Debney, and out of bounds on the full. The ball went as Sam Hudson now will bring it back in. Interesting do on the top of the scone of Sam Hudson, but he's been told by his teammates to have a shot on goal here, and we've already seen quite a good number of celebrations so far as Hudson pops it to the hot spot. It was a good kick. Otten was a big flyer at the back of the pack. It'll be the Doggies maybe to get a kick out, but the shot on goal that time by Blackburn went out of bounds on the full, and South Croydon will get a reprieve here.
I just think both sides will need to. Something's got to give in the second half for someone to break this game open.
Class always rises to the top, and as you mentioned, Brash, when they can link play together and get it up forward with clean ball movement, anything can happen.
Molnar takes it across centre half back, or half back. 27.5 minutes gone. Looks like the play's just slowing up a little bit here. We heard a second whistle. It was a downfield free kick, so much of a muchness there because Crow took the mark across centre half forward, and he's still free if they can spot him up here as the kick goes inside forward 50. Down there is Fraser there for the Blackburn side, knocked it away. Galings is there as well. The snap on goal by South Croydon. Bouncing football goes through for one behind. I couldn't quite see who got the ball there. So no one willing to put their hand up either to let me know who it was. So we'll have a boundary throw in. 20 metres out from goal. Coming through there was Hughes, tried to trap it as the siren sounds to end what was a fantastic first half on Anzac Day out here at Moreton Park. And at half-time, it is the home side, so a happy faithful here. 6-9-45 is the Blackburn Football Club. The visitors, who are South Croydon, are 6-6-42.
Well, you have a look at the